Hey keto people, are you ready to bake up something delicious? How about something that's gooey, chocolatey, and still perfectly keto friendly? That may sound a little too good to be true, but it's not. I'm Carolyn from All Day I Dream About Food, and today we're baking my Keto Carmelitas. Conventional Carmelitas feature a gooey caramel filling with chocolate chips and a crumbly oatmeal crust. Now, of course, we don't do oatmeal in keto, so I'm going to show you how to make a crumbly crust with almonds and coconut. So the first step to making Keto Carmelitas is to make the caramel sauce. Now, I'm sure every other keto blogger thinks the same, but I truly believe that I have the best sugar-free caramel sauce out there. It really comes down to using a combination of sweeteners, brown swerve and Boca Sweet. So here I have a 1/4 cup of butter and I'm melting it, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of brown swerve. This helps give it the caramel color that you want and the caramel flavor. The other sweetener I like to use is Boca Sweet. You could replace this with allulose or xylitol to get the same gooey caramel consistency. So we're just going to melt those together and whisk them until they're smooth. And once they're melted and smooth and combined, you want to take it to a full boil, and you just want to let it boil for about 3 to 5 minutes undisturbed. You want to keep your eye on it to make sure it doesn't burn, but this will help it caramelize and thicken. And once the mixture has boiled for a few minutes and has become a deep caramel color, you're going to remove it from heat and you're going to add 1/2 cup of whipping cream. Now, fair warning, when you add the cream, it bubbles very vigorously, so don't be surprised. And once your caramel has stopped bubbling, you're going to whisk in just a little bit of xanthan gum. This helps it thicken, but it also helps it keep from recrystallizing. And then we're going to whisk in just about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. If you want a salted caramel flavor, you can add up to 1/2 teaspoon. And we're going to let this cool while we start making the crust for our Carmelitas. The first step to making the crust is to make our oatmeal. You may have seen me do this before, but I like to use a combination of flaked coconut, and this is 1 cup, and sliced almonds, and this is 3/4 cup. And you can do this in a food processor, or you can try it in a good blender as well. And grind them up. You want them basically to resemble oats. So once our mixture resembles oat flakes, we're just going to transfer them to a bowl and get them all in there. And then we add the rest of our dry ingredients, including 1 cup of almond flour, 1/2 cup of sweetener. I've got Swerve Brown here, but you could use the granular if you prefer it. 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, and another 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And once we've got that all worked together, we add 1/2 cup of melted butter. And you just really want to work this into your dry ingredients until it resembles coarse crumbs. Then you're going to take your baking pan. I've got a 9x9 greased pan here. And you add about 1/2 of the crumb mixture to the bottom. So you want to press it pretty firmly and make sure you're covering everything. And then you're going to bake this bottom crust for 10 minutes at 325 Fahrenheit. Okay guys, my crust is out of the oven and I have let it cool for about 10 minutes to firm up. And now my caramel sauce is nice and thick too, and I'm just going to pour it all right over. And spread it all over the crust. You can just pick up your crust and move it around like this and it'll get into every little corner. And I have 1/2 cup of dark chocolate chips here, and I'm just going to sprinkle that right over the caramel. And finally, we take the rest of our crust and we sprinkle it over top. You can kind of break it up with your fingers as you sprinkle it on. And you want to get it so that it's got pretty good coverage and most of the filling is covered up. And then you're going to put your Carmelitas back in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes at 325. You want the crust to be nice and golden brown on the top. Well, would you look at that? I have taken my Carmelitas out of the oven. They look amazing. They smell amazing. You do need some patience. You have to let them cool for about an hour before they are firm enough to cut into bars. But once they are, you have a gooey, chocolatey, delicious keto dessert. For this easy keto recipe and so many more, check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com.